I'm Tom Calhoun. I'm the Director of Radio Operations at Lindenwood University in Belleville. As such, I'm also a Mass Comm professor there. And I also am the public address announcer for the St. Louis Blues and the Gateway Grizzlies. Most people know me from that. I went to grade school, actually kindergarten, with James T. Hodgkinson. We knew him as Tommy back in the day. Some people tell me that we called him H-Bomb. I don't remember that really, but some of my friends on social media claim that. I knew him from our graduating class at Belleville West High School. We graduated the same year in 1968. First graduating class, as a matter of fact, from Belleville West after the two schools split up back in the 60s. Tom was a guy who was, we had a lot of the same interests, primarily sports. He was a sports guy, was on the wrestling team in high school. We would occasionally play in the same pickup football game or baseball game together. And I knew him mostly as just one of the guys. You know, there was nothing particularly memorable about Tom Hodgkinson other than the fact that for a smallish guy, I was a smallish guy, so was he. He was sort of known as a guy who would stand up for himself if somebody tried to push him around, you know, but that didn't make him all that unusual from a lot of people back in those days. He would get into the occasional fight in school, but again, you know, who didn't back in the 60s especially? Seemed like a turbulent time in the country and all over. And so, you know, he was not all that different. I didn't see him as a guy who was trying to be the most popular guy in school. If you look at our yearbook pictures from our graduating class, you'd see that he was involved in wrestling in high school, but not a whole lot else. You know, he wasn't involved in student government, wasn't involved in, you know, glee club or, you know, concert choir and things like that that would indicate that he had a particular interest in any particular social outlet or type of entertainment. So he was a guy that I'd run into occasionally. How you doing? You know, again, we'd play sports on the same field together from time to time. And I did have an experience a few months ago that I thought I walked into him, or at least walked close to him as we were checking out at the local Walgreens at Belleville Crossing here. This is, I would say, earlier this year. I thought it was him, but I wasn't sure. It had been so long since we had seen one another that I didn't say, "Hey, Tom Hodgkinson, is that you?" And he didn't say, "Hey, Tom Calhoun, is that you?" You know, we're a lot different physically and facially than we were back when we were friends in high school. So I didn't have a conversation with him. I kind of wish now that I had, so that I'd have a better perspective on what might have been going on in his life and in his mind that could have led to something like what happened today. But that didn't happen, so I really don't know. And I just wish the best for his family and friends and people that might be negatively affected by all this.